Hi guys and welcome to my channel. So I originally started this channel a few years ago and we're kind of gonna rebrand a little bit because I didn't do much with it at all. So as a kind of first ease back into filming and editing and everything, because I have lots of videos that I've filmed and edited, I've just never posted them and I never will do. So kind of something that I want to put something out there that it makes me laugh, makes me happy. Just dive back into YouTube. Thought I'd do a react to Am I the Asshole threads on Reddit because why not? I'm quite excited. I've not read any of these. I'm just going down and picking them. The first one I've read the title of. Oh my god. I've not read the story, I've just read the title. But oh my god. Yeah, so we're just gonna get into it, I think. So the first one is called Am I the Asshole for Not Taking in My In-Laws and Not Helping Them Out with Medical Bills? So just from first glance, I want to say yes, but you never know. There might be extenuating circumstances. Okay, so it's a throwaway account. I, 24 male, do pretty well for myself, have my own place, a stable, boring job that doesn't require much of my attention and pays well while I work from home. Have plenty of hobbies, buy nice clothes, just in general have a pretty comfortable life. My fiance, 26 female, moved in when we got engaged about 2 years ago. Important context is that everything is on my name. She doesn't pay rent, only bills specific to her, like buying things. She likes to eat with her own money and help with some of the utility bills. About 10 months back, my father-in-law, 56, was diagnosed with a pretty curable case of lung cancer, since he had an early-ish diagnosis. But my in-laws don't have the best financial condition, and these months of medical bills and other expenses might see them homeless and father-in-law without money to stay on his treatment. My in-laws have always treated me like shit. We're always openly against my relationship to their daughter, to the point where they'd explicitly tell her not to bring me to family gatherings and invite her ex. Things of this nature, and yes, she had my back and stopped attending said family gatherings, but she still loves her family and they mean a lot to her. So she asked if we could take them in and help her father with his treatment, to which I said no, without thinking twice. She asked if I can't think on it for a few days, and I replied, if I think on it for a few days, I'll only be more sure of my already obvious conclusion. They're not setting foot in here and I don't care what happens to either of them. She replied saying something along the lines of us having the income to spare, and that is true, but around 70% of it is my income, not hers. And space, also true. And asked me if my hobbies and spending money on myself, that kind of got me annoyed since I spend a lot of money on us, not just me, although yeah, I have a few hobbies I spend on, was really more important than her family. To which I simply said, yeah, it is. Now my fiance didn't blow up. I can't read. Now, my fiance didn't blow up with me or anything. She's not one for conflict, but she called me an asshole and has been staying last couple of days over her parents. Still calls me before bed every night, but is still clearly pissed at me. Very, very pissed. Am I the asshole? I don't know. I can't decide because they've always treated you like shit and openly against the relationship. And they'd ask her to bring her ex to family. Oh, so they'd invite her ex to the family. Okay, I'm with it now. I got a bit confused for a second there. See, without context of the family, I don't think I can decide. I want to read some comments anyway. They will be home all the time, running up the utilities, expect you to buy good food that they like. That will be living with people that actively despise them, or which is far worse, hard pass, not the arsehole. So I think that the verdict is not the asshole, which I think I can see, but also these like definitely asshole comments in that story. He may mean nothing to him, but they are his fiance's parents. Does not have to take them in, but if he wishes to keep her as his fiance, he needs to be less callous about her father's potential death. I agree, but I also don't think... I think he was being callous in the way he said he didn't really care what happened to them. Is that what he said? Yeah, he said, I don't care what happens to either of them. That is a bit callous, because, like, it's her dad, like... Yeah, a lot of people are saying not the asshole, which I agree to some point. It's the, at the moment, it's he's under asshole enthusiast, I think. Something about that. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Am I the asshole for not... This is the next one. Am I the asshole for not wanting to attend my brother's wedding because he had inadvertently led to the death of my dog? Oh my god. First impressions, no. Not the asshole, but who knows? Right, okay. 3 years back, I lent my brother a hefty amount of money to help him get a car. We worked out... What does this have? We worked out a plan where within the next year he'd pay me back slowly when he could, and eventually I'll get all the money back. This plan was thoroughly thought out. We looked at his salary, considered his bills, and it should have been doable in approximately a year, give or take. He followed the plan for the first 2 payments, and then I slowly stopped getting money. He started to pay me less, then not at all with some excuses. I dealt with it fine at first because I understand things come up, and obviously he wouldn't be able to follow a hypothetical payment plan to the T, but then his reasons for not being able to pay me became clear bullshit excuses, others even agreeing on that. Over the course of 3 years, he's paid probably a tenth of what he owes me at most. I've made up the difference of my loss by working over these years, but I would be significantly richer if he paid me like promised or even tried. My brother isn't living a poor lifestyle either. He affords everything he needs and wants now. A couple of weeks back, my dog got severely ill. She was old, but not old enough to be on death's door. I couldn't afford to help my dog and avoid her having her in pain. Ultimately, I had to put my dog down. Around the same time I had to put my dog down, my brother sent out invites to his wedding, which is coming up in a few weeks. I'm not over my dog's death yet, and frankly, if my brother had been paying me anything at all, I could have afforded to help my dog. I didn't respond to the invite yet, and I'll miss the deadline soon, and my family has asked why. I said, I don't know if I want to attend, and said why. They think I'm an asshole for this, and I'm not denying I'm definitely blinded by rash emotions right now, so I don't know. Am I the asshole? Would I be the asshole if I don't go? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he is an asshole, because he had put out a he set his boundaries with the money. He's like, you have to pay me back this amount each time you get your wage, which I think is completely reasonable. And if his brother has the money to pay him and he's just not paying him, then that's not right. And if that's inadvertently led to the thing he can't afford to pay for his dog's medical bills, and it's cheaper to get a dog put down. I know it is definitely cheaper to get a dog put down than some treatments. Like, I had a dog, I had a beautiful Staffy, and in the end we ended up having to put him down because, one, he wouldn't be in any pain, and two, that it just got so expensive. So yeah, I don't know. So I'll read some comments and hopefully it changes. It might change my mind, it might not. Not the asshole, but you need to have a not the asshole, but you need to have a discussion about repayment with your brother. He must pay you back in full. Someone's asked, OP, was the treatment 100% going to work? You're absolutely allowed to be mad about not getting your money that is owed. You should have gone after him legally, not waited years. Sorry about your dog. Which, yes. OP's put, I'm not sure if it was 100%. The vet had just told me what my dog needed. Someone else has put, is the agreement with your brother in writing if it is take him to court? And include his fiance. They need to know what the person they are marrying does. They need to know what the person in they are marrying doesn't keep their word. I feel like that was a mistake. I have a feeling his fiance doesn't even know he owes money for his car. Someone's put, I wouldn't attend. He has a debt to you and is splashing out on a wedding. I'd tell him unless he wants the special day to be nothing but bad memory of you telling the stories he wouldn't want the in-laws to hear. Then he better show some sort of appreciation and pay an amount to you. The payments he's made are proof this is a loan, not a gift. Take him to court. I hope there's a paper trail. Maybe I'm being petty. If there's one thing I hate is people that borrow, don't pay back, splash out on shite, and act like you're the villain. Yes, agreed. Okay, someone's put everyone sucks here. Rule 1 of loaning money. When you loan family or friends money, you have to be ready not to get it back. You shouldn't have loaned him what you couldn't afford to be without. Yes, he's also an asshole for not paying you back, but everyone sucks here. And your dog dying is not his fault. You as a pet parent need to make sure you have the money to handle emergencies. And I say this as someone who's spent thousands on my rescue animals. And if the dog was old and ill, it might have been the best thing to do to put them down. It sucks your dog died. I'm sure you miss it, but you're misplacing the blame here. I kind of agree that. I do kind of agree with that. Like, yeah, the dog dying isn't his brother's fault. And yeah, it was poor management to loan money he probably knew beforehand that he couldn't loan. But he obviously thought he was trying. He thought he was doing a good thing for his brother, which doesn't make him the asshole. It makes him like a nice person. But yeah, there's always a risk when loaning to family or friends of not getting the money back, and I can understand where this commenter is coming from. Someone else has put, OP spent their emergency fund loaning money. That's just a bad money arrangement. What it is, and they could clearly not afford to lend this. What if the medical treatment they needed what if it was medical treatment they needed rather than a dog? Also, why didn't they borrow money to pay for the dog's treatment? Why didn't they have pet insurance? Is this a thing in the US? I'm in the UK. I pay $65 a month for my dog's health insurance. They're both bad at money management. Everyone sucks here. True, I think they're both in the wrong. Someone's commented, stop being rational. That's not allowed on this sub. That's quite funny. Oh, so I would love to know the details on the loan. OP gave brother a hefty amount for a car. Why? If he needs a car and you're happy to give him the loan, give him 10k, call it a day, assuming US. If OP gave him more than that, that's on OP. Help a brother out, no, but not at the expense of yourself, obviously. And then OP said he had years to make up the money and says he did through work. So if OP made back the money, how is it brother's fault that he can't take care of his own dog? The OP put, it was around 10k. I made back the money I'd given him, but not enough for my dog. See, if my brother had paid me or been paying me, I would have made that money up and had more money from my brother paying me back. That makes sense, yeah. But yeah, his brother didn't cause the death of his dog, but he did scam him out of a lot of money. So yeah, I wouldn't go to his wedding, but that's just me. He's completely not the arsehole here, but yeah. Anyway, next one. Am I the arsehole for turning down an invite to a baby shower using the same reasons she sent for turning down a barbecue? Names have been changed, okay. I became friends with some co-workers before COVID job losses. We kept in touch because we seemed to have interests in common, like saving money and living more sustainably. Didn't everyone during COVID though? Anyway. And living more sustainably. Last year, Anna had a milestone birthday and threw a barbecue. I arrived early to help set up, but Anna was quite upset. Apparently, our other friend Betty had sent a text early in the morning saying she wouldn't be coming because of moral reasons. Betty had gone vegetarian again and didn't want to be around people eating meat. I cheered Anna up and we moved on. Turns out the meat was mostly fish and squid, but because several people were attending were fishermen. That's really cool, actually. And there were plenty of veggie options because many vegetarians and vegans attended. Just over a week ago, I received a baby shower / gender reveal party invite from Betty. Personally, I really dislike gender reveals, and we also hadn't talked much for over 8 months, so I was a bit surprised that she wanted me there. I knew I would be uncomfortable, so I replied quickly saying I would not be coming. A few days later, Betty messaged me again asking me to come to the party and she would have my favourite tarts. I admit I don't care that much about Betty, but we were never really close, and I cynically thought she was out to get a bunch of stuff. The original invite even said don't come empty-handed. So I decided on impulse to text back a version of what she said to Anna last year. The text: sorry I won't be able to come to your baby shower. I don't agree morally or ethically with the choices you're making. I cannot be around people right now who are doing things that are leading to the destruction of our planet. Betty blew up my phone calling me names. I thought it was good to give Betty a taste of her own medicine. Anna thinks I'm an asshole because she said getting the original text from Betty was horrible and 2 wrongs don't make a right. So am I the asshole? That's actually quite funny. I don't think I don't know. I don't think she's the asshole. Honestly, I think she was standing up for her friends. That's quite funny. If you've not been in touch with her for 8 months, then that you're not close friends. You don't have any obligation to go to that party. Like, she can't make you go. And if they're just throwing a party to gift grab, then it's not good. So I don't think she's the asshole, and I actually really like how she handled it. Someone put basically along the lines of what I've just said: not the asshole. She hasn't seen you in over 8 months yet. Suddenly she gets in touch with you, invite you to a gift grab. That's so transparent, it's offensive. So I can't condemn your response. Someone's replied to that and said, I specifically agree because she first just answered saying she wouldn't be coming, and no one owes an explanation for declining an invite, but the girl contacts her again and demands she comes after she declined. I can accept close friends calling and asking the reason, but they clearly aren't close, so it was obviously a gift grab. She had it coming. 8 months is nothing, but I guess that's friends on perspective of age. Lots of old friends who's like no time has passed visiting after I realise this is not the main point. Agreed, but I'd expect old friends I haven't seen for ages to get in touch without obvious ulterior motives first, otherwise it's just too suspicious. This is it. You're not the asshole for turning down the invite. You're the asshole for using a reason just out of spite. Unless you legitimately feel that way, the person is an asshole for obviously inviting you only for more gifts. I think your response is hilarious and warranted, but doesn't make you any less of an asshole. This sub has weird attitude where they withhold asshole judgment unless usually because they agree that with their actions, when you can do everything right but still be an asshole. I 1000% agree. I think it's an asshole move to use the same response, but it was a warranted asshole move. I would 1000% do the exact same thing. Not the asshole. 2 wrongs doesn't make a right, but your response was hilarious. It's also like super trashy to put "don't come empty-handed" on invites, especially when sent to people you're not in touch with. Yeah, I don't think it's I think it's an assholey move, but it's a warrant. It is actually quite justified. But yeah, I think most of it is not the asshole. So yeah. Next one. Am I the asshole for telling my kids I'm getting married and there is nothing they could do about it? Oh. So, from that title, depending on how old your kids are, yes. I feel like there was a different way they could have. It depends on how old the kids are. If you just turn around to your kid and just go, I'm getting married, there's nothing you can do about it, that's a bit of an asshole move. But I don't know. I'll read it and then decide. I'm an asshole for telling the kids I'm getting married and there's nothing you can do about it. On the phone, sorry for errors. I left my husband. Long story short, I was tired of being the one that had to do everything, the undermining with the kids and other crap. When I handed him the divorce papers, he decided he wanted to change, but I was tired and said, no, I'm done. Too little, too late situation. Now the kids are barely Now the kids were barely teenagers when this happened, and to this day they don't forgive me for breaking up the family. Doesn't help their dad fell into a depression, so they saw the big impact on him. I had the most custody and my ex stayed the fun dad. The kids would get so mad when I was going on a date. The oldest is 19, the other one is now 17. The guy I had been seeing for about 2 years asked me to marry him. I wanted to make it clear that he is a good guy and he's done nothing to the kids. I introduced him a year ago to the kids, and they hated him the moment I told them I was dating him. I said yes to marrying him. I got reservations to a nice steakhouse and took the kids so I could tell them. They blew up in the restaurant and about this being a betrayal to them and my ex. I told them I'm getting married and there is nothing they can do about it. They called me a jerk and the oldest went to stay with my ex. Am I the asshole? Yes, the kids went to therapy during the divorce. From comment. The kids know dad sucked towards me. The problem is that my ex fell into a depression when it happened. It was bad enough that the kids almost lost him. He fucked off somewhere for half a year and he was considered missing. When he came back, the kids latched onto him hard. So they see it as it hurt him way more than what happened in the marriage. So never forgave me for hurting him. I think anything I do will make him sad. I am the devil. So having a partner falls into that. Now I've read it, not the asshole. It seems like the kids have issues they need to deal with, but if you want to be happy, like, you should be happy. Like, that's my opinion. Someone's put, not the asshole for getting married and moving on. You're allowed to remarry and be happy. It's no betrayal to your ex to do so. Did you guys do any sort of family counselling? Oh, that's what the thing was like. Yeah, they went to therapy. OP did say she tried marriage counselling with her husband before the divorce and then kids in therapy, but OP had to edit that in. I will say, though, if the kids don't want to listen, even therapy now will not help them. They're basically blaming OP for their dad being depressed, which isn't her fault at all. That's a realisation that they will have to make on their own. I don't think OP can fix that opinion. OP, you are going to be going through a lot with them. Good luck. Yeah, so it's basically saying not the asshole for this one, which I completely agree. Someone's put, not the asshole, but I'm conflicted. On one hand, the way you said it isn't right at all, and if you hadn't taken them to counselling or therapy after divorce, or even explained to them why you left, then that makes you at fault for how they reacted. But regardless, it's your life and you have the right to find happiness. Someone else has put, not the asshole, you're already married, you're already divorced for many years, your kids seem to be harbouring some delusions about your marital status. Not sure if you lighted some false hope along the way for a union, but with their dad to happen. But regardless, you should put your foot down now, and if you are sure about remarrying a different person, kids shouldn't be meddling in your love life. Yeah, I agree. Not the asshole. And the way I see it, if you're happy, you're happy. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, that is the last one I'm gonna read, because I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's the last one I'm gonna read. I hope you enjoyed this video and that comment down below if you agree with the am I the assholes, whether or not they're an asshole or not, because I think that'll be quite interesting to read. Please like and please subscribe. Please subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. I will be uploading a bit more frequently now, and yeah, I will definitely do another one of this because it's been really interesting to read. Yeah, so please pin any am I the asshole stories in the comment section as well, because I love reading them. So any that you have or that you've read and you've saved or something, it is going to be, yeah, and I'll read them and I'll tell you what I think about them. Yeah, so that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.